Hi there, this is Voula with Nutrition Design with you in mind, here for another episode of Let's Do Dinner. So I've got a really nice little recipe on tap for you today, and I've made some adjustments to it, so I'm going to share that with you as well. It's ridiculously healthy and it tastes amazing. The name of the recipe here that we have for you today is a roasted mushroom and green bean farro salad. The authors of this salad are closetcooking.com. Let's get started on this fun little recipe. So one of the main ingredients here is farro. And the recipe calls for about a cup of farro. Farro is an absolutely delicious whole grain. It is packed with fiber. I believe it's about 5 or 6 grams of fiber per quarter cup. It is just powerhouse. I really do encourage people that obviously have more whole grains in their diet. They are way more filling and satisfying. So you end up eating a little bit less typically because they are so filling. So what you want to do is you want to follow the directions on the package, Farro, F-A-R-R-O. You can find that at any supermarket, really. The other thing we need to do, we want to prep are the green beans and the mushrooms. So I have gone ahead and I've washed my green beans and my mushrooms. I'm going to put this in one of my bigger bowls just so I can show you what I'm going to be doing. You want to quarter the mushrooms. You want to just start with a really sharp knife. You don't want to be using a dull knife. Dull knives are actually very dangerous. So when you're cooking, you want to be working with really good sharp knives. Otherwise, you're shredding the food instead of cutting it cleanly. And then my green beans, I've kind of trimmed them. I've washed them and I've trimmed them. Basically, I've taken off the ends. So you want to cut these in bite-sized pieces. So here's your green bean, bite-sized. You can chop it off kind of with your hand, but I'm using my knife. This is about 1 pound of green beans. So the reason I really love this recipe is because it really combines most of the food groups. You've got vegetables, right? We've got the mushrooms. We've got the green beans here. We've got the whole grain and the farro that I just mentioned. And you will see the protein that will be coming up in just a second. And I'm going to be adapting this recipe where I'll be adding a little bit of fruit. So here we go. You want to put your green beans in a bowl with your mushrooms. And what you want to do next is you want to put about a tablespoon of olive oil. I always use, the extra virgin, really good olive oil. Loads of monounsaturated fat. You're getting healthy fats in this recipe. And of course, remember, fats are very important. They are very, very satisfying and satiating. So you really do want to include some fats in your diet to fill you up and to give you those good nutrients. So here we go. I am just about a tablespoon. If you do 2, it's okay. I think I have a little bit more than 1 pound of green beans here, and that's fine. You can double this recipe very nicely. So I am just sauteing this. You want to do a little bit of salt and pepper. Maybe you want to do about, it's to taste. I would do about a teaspoon of salt, and then pepper. I like the fresh ground pepper. So, you can use as much or as little as you want. The secret ingredient here with regards to the spices is the thyme. You can get the fresh thyme, even better. They're calling for about 1/2 teaspoon. I put a full teaspoon. You can adjust up or down, but I really think the thyme gives it that really nice, rich, fall, earthy flavor that really pairs well with the mushrooms. And then what you want to do is you want to kind of incorporate all of that. So here you go. You want to make sure that all the oil is in there. I'm going to add just a touch more because what we're going to do is we're going to put this in a 400 oven for 20 minutes. Put all of your vegetables right on that pan, a nice greased pan. I usually put some foil paper so I don't have to clean too much afterwards. And you can add more mushrooms, okay? I have a little bit more on the green bean side, so I could have easily put another package of mushroom if I wanted to feed, about 6 or more people. So here it is, all nicely greased, salt, pepper, thyme. Throw it in a 400 oven. You want to turn the vegetables over, halfway through that time, and just keep an eye on it. And then at the 20-minute mark-ish, you can remove them from the oven and put them on the side. Let them cool down a bit. Now remember, you have your farro, okay? And I took the liberty to roast my veggies. So they're right here, okay, because you probably don't want to wait with me for these to roast. So we've got our vegetables going, our farro going, and what we have here is goat cheese. So you can use blue cheese, goat cheese. It's about, I believe, let me see, what did they say? They wanted about a quarter cup. It could be feta. You could put a little more, a little less, but I think the quarter cup-ish is a really nice amount for this recipe, for the pound of green beans and the mushrooms, the 10-ounce box of mushrooms. So what you want to do is we're going to be incorporating the whole thing. The other ingredient are the walnuts. So you just want to make sure that they're cut up into little bite-sized pieces just like this. You can crush them just with your hands. It takes 2 minutes. It's about a quarter cup. I put a little bit more. So you can see that this is a very protein-packed recipe. You've got the goat cheese or the feta. You got the walnuts for protein. You got the fiber in the farro. This is a really, really complete meal. It's very, very filling. You've got carbs, you've got vegetables, you've got protein. And my secret ingredient, which is not in the original recipe, is pomegranates. Very seasonal, very festive, pretty color. You'll see how that looks. If you don't have pomegranate, you can do cranberries, dried cranberries, and throw those over. I think it gives it a little bit, it lends to a sweet and salty taste, which is absolutely delightful. So if you don't want to add the pomegranate seeds or the cranberries, you don't have to. It's completely up to you. But if you do add the fresh fruit, you're really looking at, hitting every single food group. So let's put all of this together. I am going to take a big bowl and I'm going to put the farro in the bowl. I'm going to put the roasted mushrooms and green beans in that bowl. Here is my good goat cheese. And you can add a little more, you can add a little less. I might need a little bit more of this goat cheese, and I will add some later because I think, I did have more of the vegetables. And then I'm adding my nuts. You want to add a little bit of balsamic vinegar. Not too much, but that sweetness from the balsamic vinegar will just be smashing with the roasted vegetables. Put a little bit more olive oil, and I'll hit it with another drizzle of balsamic. They're recommending about a quarter cup, but I'm going to leave that up to you, okay? I always start with a little less. I taste it, see if I like it. It's kind of like salt. It's up to your taste. But I think this looks really nice. And I'm going to add the pomegranate seeds on top. And then, voila! You've got a wonderful festive side. I'm going to plate this for you all right now. And I'm going to add just a little bit more of the pomegranates. I mean, if you've got a little extra time and you want to add that just to make it look pretty, you can. You don't have to. Well, folks, there you go. Here is your roasted mushroom green bean farro salad. It is absolutely delicious. It is absolutely filling. I really encourage you to try this. Please take the opportunity to savor your food, enjoy it. All foods fit, obviously, but if you can get a dish like this that is absolutely healthy and delicious, you've scored an absolute home run, okay? So, I hope you enjoyed this, and until then, I bid you adieu to good food and to your good health always.